Okay, we are back with the morality of capitalism, and this is a short chapter, though the one coming after it is even shorter, but we kind of did that brief look at it last time, but it is Ludwig Lachmann, The Market Economy and the Distribution of Wealth. And I don't know if I'm going to do it justice. It's a really good, though short chapter. And let me just give an upfront summary, because this is something I've sometimes articulated to explain. But, we're so entrenched in this redistributionist mentality, and the fear, and it is a fear that people have. I want to bring this mic down a little bit. It's falling off the wall back where it's mounted, is in a laissez-faire market economy. I've got a hair on my mic. Yeah, I am completely distracted by everything today. Oh, look, a bird. That wealth will be entrenched with just a certain group of people, and it will be passed down from generation to generation and keep everyone else poor, and have this like almost a caste system. And, my argument has always been that the changing circumstances will virtually ensure that wealth will be fluid, that wealth is not going to just stay with one family, even, or multiple families, but even just looking at one as like a prototypical example. And we've seen this over time. There's been like dynasties of families, and it's like, where are they now? And that's even what government's propping them up. So let's go into this chapter. It says, in this essay, the distinguished economist Ludwig Lachmann examines the social justice critiques of free market capitalism and reveals their incoherence. Okay, so he's going to say much better, and hopefully I will capture it in the quotes that I chose, the little summary that I just gave. It's like a form of economic organization based on voluntary cooperation and the universal exchange of knowledge is necessarily superior to any hierarchical structure, even if in the latter a rational test for the qualifications of those who would give the word of command could exist. Confronted with this situation, the opponents of the market economy have shifted their ground. They now oppose it on social rather than economic grounds. They accuse it of being unjust rather than inefficient. Some of these opponents would not altogether deny that there is a sense in which the distribution of wealth is the cumulative result of the play of economic forces, but would hold that this accumulation operates in such a fashion as to make the present a slave of the past, a bygone and arbitrary factor in the present. In the main, this argument of the opponents of the market economy is based on the institution of inheritance, to which, even in a progressive society, we are told a majority of the owners owe their wealth. This argument appears to be widely accepted today, even by many who are genuinely in favor of economic freedom. Such people have come to believe that a redistribution of wealth, for instance through death duties, would have socially desirable but no unfavorable economic results. On the contrary, since such measures would help free the present from the dead hand of the past, they would also help to adjust present incomes to present needs. The distribution of wealth is a datum of the market, and by changing data, we can change results without interfering with the market mechanism. It follows that only when accompanied by a policy designed continually to redistribute existing wealth would the market process have socially tolerable results. Now, this isn't his position. He's speaking the position of the opposition. He opposes this, as do I. Because it will, however, be our main task to show that the distribution of wealth is not a datum. Far from being an independent variable of the market process, it is, on the contrary, continuously subject to modification by market forces. Needless to say, this is not to deny that at any moment it is among the forces that shape the path of the market process in the immediate future, but it is to deny that the mode of distribution as such can have any permanent influence. Though wealth is always distributed in some definite way, the mode of the distribution is ever changing. Only if the mode of distribution remained the same in period after period, while individual pieces of wealth were being transferred by inheritance, could such a constant mode be said to be a permanent economic force. In reality, this is not so. What is, however, of great economic and social interest is not the mode of distribution of wealth at a moment in time, but its mode of change over time. What then in reality happens to wealth in a world of unexpected change? Entrepreneurs will make higher bids for the services of those resources for which they have found more profitable uses, and lower bids for those which have turned to less profitable uses. In the limiting case where no present or potential future use can be found for a resource that has so far formed part of a profitable combination, this resource will have lost its resource character altogether. But even in less drastic cases, capital gains and losses made on durable assets are an inevitable concomitant of a world of unexpected change. This market process is thus seen to be a leveling process. In a market economy, a process of redistribution of wealth is taking place all the time, before which those outwardly similarly processes that modern politicians are in the habit of instituting pale into comparative insignificance, if for no other reason than the market gives wealth to those who can hold it, while politicians give it to their constituents, who as a rule cannot. That's beautiful. I need to tweet that. I know I always say that and then I forget, but I need to tweet that. These economic facts have certain social consequences. As the critics of the market economy nowadays prefer to take their stand on social grounds, it may be not inappropriate, that's a weird way to say it, here to elucidate the true social results of the market process. We have already spoken of it as a leveling process. More aptly, we may now describe these results as an instance of what Pareto called the circulation of elites. Wealth is unlikely to stay for long in the same hands. It passes from hand to hand as unforeseen change confers value, now on this, now on that specific resource, engendering capital gains and losses. The owners of wealth, which we might say with Schumpeter, are like the guests at a hotel or the passengers in a train. They are always there, but they are never for long the same people. This means practically that in a modern market economy, there can be no such thing as a source of permanent income. Durability and limited versatility make it impossible. So he said what I said in the beginning, much more eloquently. So the next chapter is super short. It is Political and Economic Freedoms Together Spawn Humanity's Miracles. And I think it's only 3 pages long. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages long. So we'll get to that quickly. But that's it for now. Ciao.